Hey mamas, I'm Brooke Miller, registered dietitian, certified lactation counselor, and a mama who has helped hundreds of moms feel like themselves again after baby, boost their energy, mood, metabolism, and even milk supply. Inside of the Postpartum Shift podcast, you'll learn how to take care of your health so that you can show up best for the ones you care about most. Each week, we'll tackle topics like nutrition, exercise, breastfeeding, mental health, and so much more. Plus, you'll get access to guest experts who will share ways to make your pregnancy and postpartum experience easier. Whether you're approaching the postpartum period or you're right in the thick of it, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's topic. Hey mama, I have a question for you. Have you ever found yourself sneaking food? Maybe it's you're on your way home from work or from dropping the kids off and you find yourself in the McDonald's drive-thru line and you get home and hide the evidence in the trash can in the garage, or you stop at a gas station to hide the evidence, or maybe you eat perfectly during the day and then when your spouse and kids are asleep at night, you finally have peace and quiet, and that is when you raid the pantry or raid the cupboards. If you've ever done this, then this episode is for you. So the truth is, sneaking food is very common for a lot of women, and a lot of moms do this. Well, first and foremost, sometimes I admit that I sneak food when my kids are not around because they are little vultures and they hear, I swear to you, if they're in the other room playing and they hear the chips bag open, if they hear a candy wrapper, they sprint into the kitchen and they just like sit there and wait. And then I end up having to share with them. And so truthfully, sometimes I wait until they're in bed to enjoy treats because I do not want to have to deal with them. So many of you might be in that camp too. But the thing when it comes to food sneaking is a lot of us do it because we are embarrassed with what we are eating. We don't want people to judge us. We don't want to deal with food or body comments from somebody else around us. We might be doing it because we want to portray that we're being so healthy and being good, and we don't want to let people know that we are enjoying dessert or enjoying any treats. So there's a lot of different reasons why sneaking food happens, but a lot of it has to do with feeling embarrassed about wanting those foods or feeling embarrassed about eating those foods, or sometimes it's about the amount that we're eating and we know that we're going to overeat that food and we don't want anybody to see it and we want to hide the evidence. And so if this is you, the first thing I always recommend for moms struggling with this is actually announce that you are going to eat this food. Like, let's take the guilt away. Let's take the shame away. Let's practice eating this food in front of other people. So whenever I want ice cream or whenever I want something, usually it's like right after dinner when my family is still sitting at the table, and I will say something along the lines of, oh, I'm going to have a piece of chocolate, or I'm going to grab some ice cream. Does anybody else here want some? And what that's doing is it's removing the guilt and shame, because I am out there announcing to the world, hey, I am choosing to eat this food. Does anybody else want any? And a lot of times, my husband, he's not a big sweets guy. Like, he does not like ice cream. He loves brownies, but I don't really like brownies. And so whenever I ask if anybody else wants ice cream, he's always like, no, not my thing. But he is a chips guy. He is like a late night, like if we're watching a movie, he's like, I'm going to eat some chips and popcorn and all the things. And that's not necessarily always something that I want to eat. And so there's a lot of times where he's eating that stuff and I'm like, no, I don't want any. But when it comes to ice cream, I will never say no to ice cream. I love it so much. It's my favorite dessert. But whenever I do that in front of my family, it is announcing to everybody that it's okay to have that we can still have ice cream every once in a while and still be healthy. And it's just removing that guilt and shame. And the truth is, when I do that, I actually, I put a little bit of ice cream in a bowl and I sit at the table and I eat with my family. I'm eating the food slowly and mindfully. I'm stopping when satisfied, and I'm less likely to binge that food. Now, if I wait until the kids are in bed, which sometimes I do that, like I said, they're little vultures, but if I decide I'm going to wait till my husband's sleeping and the kids are in bed and I'm just going to eat, I'm going to bring the pint of ice cream out to the couch and binge watch my favorite movie and then eat ice cream there, I'm way more likely to overeat and eat past fullness and then usually when we end up eating past fullness or overeating, there's a lot of guilt and shame along with that comes with that. And so this is just one way that we can essentially diminish the guilt and shame with it, because we're not hiding it anymore. And so this can be something that it feels really uncomfortable right away, and it can take some practice. And you can also practice. Sometimes we, are hiding these types of things, like we're hiding what we're eating because we don't want to deal with comments from maybe our parents or our spouses or somebody in our family. And so this can also help you navigate that. And so you kind of are equipped if you think that there is going to be a negative comment coming, like, oh, are you sure you're going to eat all that, or something along those lines. You can have a response ready to go. And you can say, hey guys, I'm going to eat this. Does anybody else want any? And then if somebody does say something inappropriate to you, then you can feel confident and you can have a plan moving forward of how you want to respond to that. So that is something that can be really powerful and helpful during this time.
If you've been wanting to reach your healthiest weight and feel like yourself again postpartum without having to sacrifice your favorite foods or your milk supply, I've got a free workshop just for you. Inside of this free workshop, you'll discover how to boost energy, mood, metabolism, and even protect your milk supply. You'll learn common mistakes that moms make that actually cause exhaustion, mood swings, low milk supply, and weight loss resistance to become worse, things that moms don't even realize. And you'll learn the proven 3-step method to heal your hormones and metabolism after baby, so you can go from surviving to thriving postpartum. Plus, as a free gift, you'll get my postpartum snack guide when you come hang out with us. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes to save your seat today. Spots are limited. See you there.
Something else that can be really helpful when it comes to sneaking food is practicing allowing yourself permission to eat those foods earlier in the day. So if you kind of find that you are normally sneaking food like late at night, then test having that food midday with lunch in front of other people at the table. And if you are finding that this is a food that maybe you eat in your car, let's say, like maybe it's something where you're like, oh, I tend to make some choices that don't necessarily feel good for my body. Maybe it's like in the morning after you drop the kids off at school and it's like that's where you head to the drive-thru or something like that. Then test bringing that food home, and instead of eating it in your car, like eating it at the table and throwing away the evidence in your kitchen garbage, so that it's there in case somebody sees it, but you're not necessarily hiding it. And so this can feel really awkward and uncomfortable, but I've worked with so many moms over the years who were sneaking food. They were struggling a lot with guilt and shame around their food choices, and they were so nervous to do this. And then the first time they did this with their family, they actually found like there was no judgment. Some of their kids were like, sure, I want some. Oh, mom's cool. She's letting us have ice cream at dinner. And she's like, she said that she didn't make this an everyday thing, but she did this, once or twice a week, and her kids were super excited about it. This was one mom that it just kind of stands out to me who ended up doing this. And she's like, I can't believe that I went so long with just sneaking food and kind of avoiding this and thinking this was going to be such a big deal and so hard to do. And she's like, it wasn't that big of a deal. And so this can be really, really powerful if that is you. And when it comes to sneaking food, we really want to identify, why am I doing it? Like what types of things am I worried people will say? What types of judgments do I think people will have? Like, why deep down do I tend to do this? Like, why do I want to do this? What's the worst thing that I'm envisioning will happen? And is that something that would actually happen? And if it were to happen and I were just to come out in the open and eat that food, then how can I respond in a way that I feel really empowered? And I think when you go into it, having acknowledgement and having awareness with these thoughts and then trying to challenge them in a way that's pretty empowering when you're like actually doing it in front of other people, you kind of find that most of the time you're like, I don't even know why I was hiding this, or I don't even know why I was so scared or worried about this. This actually, has taken away like this food being this prized special food. And the other thing that a lot of moms find when they start doing this openly is just like inviting others to eat this food. A lot of moms find that they actually no longer binge this food. They no longer have cravings for this food. And it just becomes a food that like once a week or so they have maybe with dinner, and that's it. And this food has like lost its power. So this can be something super exciting and really empowering to try. So if this is you, I want you to test this out and send me a message on Instagram. Let me know how this went for you. And of course, if you are a mom that is wanting to, reach your healthiest weight, feel in control around foods, and reach your postpartum health goals, feel like yourself again without sacrificing your favorite foods, still enjoying them in a balanced way, then you definitely want to check out the workshop. You can go ahead and click in the show notes to grab the link for that free workshop. And I will see you guys there, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day.
Exercise is crucial for our overall mental and physical health, especially during pregnancy and postpartum. Something that has helped me stay really consistent with strength training and yoga at home during nap time is the Expecting and Empowered workout app. I love that I can choose how many weeks pregnant or postpartum I am, and the app tells me exactly what to do. Plus, there's cardio, yoga, and strength training options for new moms and moms to be. You can go ahead and click the link in the show notes to get 7 days free and also save 15% off the annual option when you use promo code Nutrition for Mamas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to the Postpartum Shift podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share this episode with a mom friend and leave a written review. This helps the podcast reach and help even more moms. Come say hi over on Instagram at Nutrition for Mamas.